There's a worldwide pandemic, and no, this is not about COVID, but yet another serious pandemic that has been a major issue across many generations around the world. But here in the United States, nearly 14 out of 100 people smoke tobacco in 2019. Cigarettes are dangerous since it's an issue that can be easily prevented, since smoking can lead to many forms of illnesses that can be fatal if not seriously detrimental to the body. If someone does decide to quit smoking tobacco, this will not only benefit the host or the original smoker, but the people around the smoker as well. I will speak about the many problems that come with smoking, and I will advise people who do consume cigarettes to stop now. And everyone is different, so you may stop, you have to take your own time to stop smoking. So take your time. It's a great thing if you decide to stop smoking. I will inform the audience about how smoking is bad for a person economically, physically, socially, and mentally. So one of the most obvious reason a person should stop smoking or you should stop smoking is, economically. The average cost of a cigarette packet is $6.28, which could add up to $108 per month and $2,000 a year. And it varies from person to person. One person may spend more money on it, while another person might spend less money on it. But it tends to be on the higher end of the spectrum. So that's one of the main reasons you should stop smoking. You can save a lot of money. Smoking has dangerous side effects, both economically and physically. It can be life-threatening or seriously harming. So why should you stop smoking? Another reason you should stop smoking is, for your physical health. So what does smoking cigarettes cause to the body? Okay. Well, one, it causes coronary heart disease. It increases the chance by 2 to 4%. Develops you can develop lung cancer. You can develop COPD. What is COPD? COPD is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, which just makes it harder for a person to breathe, and so it'll only make it worse for people who have asthma and some related illnesses. Smoking can also lead to development of cardiovascular disease, which is heart problems. It can also cause strokes. And what is strokes? Strokes is clots that block the blood flow to parts of your brain and often bursting them. And one of the main reasons I don't smoke, which pretty obvious I don't smoke, is that it ages a person faster. And for a person who looks older than they already are, I don't want to look more older than I already am. So don't smoke if you don't want to look older. Another physical thing that smoking causes to a body is birth defects. Some birth defects can include stillbirth, low birth weight, SIDS. What is SIDS? SIDS is sudden infant death syndrome, which sounds what it sounds like, which is the sudden death of an infant for no apparent reason up to the age of 1. And you don't want to have an infant die just because you want to smoke a pack of cigarettes and the Marlboros right there. Please don't smoke, man. Don't. Some other birth effects includes preterm birth. Another great reason to stop smoking, and I'm glad people are finally taking notice, is people are not looking at smokers in a good light, and smoking also causes secondhand smoking. What is secondhand smoking? Secondhand smoking is also known as passive smoking. Is when a person who is not the original smoker inhales smoke from the original smoker. So you're pretty much inhaling. If you're not smoking and you inhale some smoke from another smoker that they release, that's secondhand smoking. And what does secondhand smoking lead to? It leads to the same effects that the original smoker is, which is like lung cancer develops, COPD, cardiovascular disease, coronary heart disease, strokes, and ages person faster. Another social view that you should stop smoking is that people view you in a bad light, me including. Whenever I see a person smoke, I tend to not look at them in a very bright light, and others should do the same. And you should help people, like tell them to stop smoking. Another reason you should stop smoking is it leaves a really bad smell. It leaves a really distinct smell that is obvious to pinpoint what it is. And being around some people who have that cigarette smell is not really present. So don't be the person who smokes and have a really bad smell to them. Another social view is that it leaves a bad impression in the youth, which only leads the youth to start smoking themselves. And you don't want to have a kid smoking just because you want to smoke. a Marlboro, so don't smoke, please. Similar to that of what smoking can cause to the body physically, smoking can also affects the body in a mental way. What's the mental way that that cigarettes affect the body, which you should take notice and should stop if you're smoking, is nicotine addiction. Addiction. Nicotine reaches the body, which reaches the brain within 10 seconds. And what does the nicotine do in the brain? It increases mood, concentration, relaxes the muscles, and also decreases anger, which is all great and good, some good effects that nicotine brings to the body, but it can also lead to withdrawal, dependency to the nicotine. And what does dependency cause? Dependency causes the increases of the effects that you want nicotine to sedate. So like your mood will not go down, will not go up. I mean, you'll lack concentration. You'll be like really like still. You'll be really anxious and stuff. So that's what withdrawal causes. So why should you stop smoking? Why? Well, one, economically, you'll burn through your money really quick if you keep buying, cigarette boxes. They're pretty cheap, so it'll just compel you to buy more and more. Another reason is physical being. We're a physical being. It can cause some serious illnesses such as coronary heart disease, COPD, cardiovascular disease, and strokes. It ages a person faster, which is my main reason why I don't smoke. It also leads to birth effects, which you don't want to harm a baby just because you want to smoke. Another reason you stop smoking is social factors such as secondhand smoking. You don't want to get other people sick just because you want to smoke. And people will look at you at a bad light, me including. Leaves a bad smell, leaves a bad impression in the youth, etc. Another reason you should stop smoking is addiction. As I said, nicotine reaches the body, reaches the brain within 10 seconds, which is fast. Which leads to some good effects, but it can lead to withdrawal and dependency, which you don't want. Sadly, the worldwide pandemic of cigarette smoking has plagued this country for centuries, affecting 1/10 of the population of this country. And since smoking can be easily prevented, it leaves me a sour taste in my mouth that all the unfortunate events that smoking causes can be, easily prevented. On a great note, there are people who are willingly and actively trying to quit smoking, which should always be seen as a courageous action. I always praise the people who want to quit smoking, which is always a great thing to do. So if you plan on quitting smoking, seek help. Smoking tobacco or cigarettes can lead to economically, physically, socially, and mental issues, which is crazy. You don't want to develop such issues just because you want to have a smoke. Smoking products for health purposes can be allowed for consumption with an authorized permission from a physician, and a certain variety of smoking products can be consumed. But there has been a steady decline of cigarette consumption, but there has been a rise of another form of smoking. Nicotine addiction pertaining to the vapor-related smoking is another form of smoking that has taken popularity across the younger population. We must set an example to the younger population by teaching them that smoking is a bad habit to acquire, and to achieve that, we must first end the pandemic of cigarette smoking and tobacco smoking. Thank you.